Hi, babe.
Hi Fiona, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Bloody hell. I was trying to think of the last time I saw you.
Do you know, I think it was like just before this all kicked off. It was like
We were
we were
having a glass of wine, weren't we? I'd met you to try and get some dresses for Dancing with the Stars or something. And yeah,
two sneaky glasses of wine
two sneaky glasses of red.
two sneaky glasses of red. I guess what we might do is might wait a little second and see if a few people will join, and then we'll
Yeah. You look gorgeous, by the way. How are you doing?
thanks, girl. So do you. You have got the best tan. Like
I
you,
know.
it's gorgeous.
Well, the thing is, the weather's just been so good, and I have quite dark skin, so if I sit in it, it's like I feel like I've just been in Spain for like 2 weeks.
You look like you've been in Spain. Like if I didn't know any better, I'd be thinking that Fiona sneak off, sneak in your flight.
What have you
So,
been up to?
so yeah, just been super busy. We've a lot of projects coming up. So I'm
Good.
excited. I'll have to fill you in, when we're in for our next glass of wine, which I believe
Yes.
isn't too far away.
Yes,
So
thank God. I'm ready to get back to work again as well. I've had a couple of jobs that were cancelled, be rescheduled, just like a couple today, which is just brilliant.
yeah.
So yeah, just waiting to get back out there,
No, you know what? I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think it's going to be like the Roaring Twenties. We are gonna have one hell of a time with this
Yes,
flood.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to start, and then we can let people join on. So today we have renowned fashion stylist and creative Fiona Fagan. So Fiona Fagan has worked with some of the biggest names in the UK, and she's just recently moved back to Ireland. And Fiona, thank you so much for joining
No,
us
thank you for
today.
having me. I don't usually do these sort of things, so it's quite nice to have a chat and chat with you.
Exactly. So we had a couple of questions. So
Yeah.
I wrote in some questions, and then I guess I'm super interested to find out about your career and your experience in London, because I have a little affection for London. I was all supposed to go. I missed the boat several times. And also the fact that I know a lot of people would be interested in a career in fashion, and
Yeah.
you got your start, and just give us some tips.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to start with our first question. So your first fashion memory, like what was it? Was it a pivotal memory that you thought, wow, this is what I want to do?
Like as a kid, or well, I'm always interested in fashion. Like as a kid, I always my mum dressed me really well and spent quite a lot of money on me on clothes. I was the only girl, so I was always really, really into fashion. But how I was, when I moved to London, I was a dancer. So I was a dancer for like loads of famous people. I did loads of great pop videos. So when I was doing those pop videos for like, say, Kylie, Martine McCutcheon, Holly Valance, Boyzone, Danny, Gus Steps, it goes on and on and on. I'd love when like we go to the stylist, they would have a stylist for all the dancers, and I would just be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, put me in whatever crazy outfit you want to put me in. I don't care. So I knew, like, I remember when I'm doing something with William Baker, who's a really famous stylist, Kylie's stylist. He was the guy responsible for the gold hot pants. And I was doing a pop video for Martine McCutcheon, and he was the stylist on there. And he had me in the most craziest outfit, like this like crazy dress. I looked like Patsy from Absolutely Fabulous, but I loved it. So like I was always really interested in my outfits when I was a dancer. If I was doing a pop video, like dressing up. So I suppose, like, I danced for 10 years in London. It wasn't until the last 4 or 5 years that I became a stylist. So I suppose that's like being I've been a dancer and been in like performing, and if I was doing the Brit Awards, all these great outfits I'd have, I suppose that was the kind of thing that always I loved as much as the dance, but I kind of loved the fashion side of it as well. So I suppose that's a moment where I thought, oh God, I could do this. I think I want to be a stylist, actually, you
I
know?
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. And because a lot of people might have a misconception that, you need to do a hardcore fashion degree or design course, or
Yeah.
did you do any of those
No,
kind
well, actually, do you know, I think I must say this, and this is interesting, a really pivotal way that I started so fast and achieved so fast in London, because it's really difficult to be successful in London as a stylist. I already had a really successful career as a dancer. I was a fit model. So for anyone who doesn't know what a fit model is, it's like a fittings model. So for brands like All Saints, I started off with All Saints and Whistles, and I would go in 2 days a week. It's really well paid, and you stand there and you're basically like a human mannequin, but you're standing there with all the designers. So like at All Saints, it was when it was in like 2000 and from 2006, I can't remember. It was when All Saints was huge. They were the biggest brand. They were super cool. They were coming out with all these amazing knitwear designs. And so like I became friends with all the designers because I was their fit model for 5 years. So I was constantly surrounded by all these designers and creative. So I'd see how everything was getting made. They would send me to the factories with the head of design to India, to like Istanbul. So I had this real idea of sort of being around fashion, being around how the garments made, understanding it, the fit. And I'm always also quite mouthy. I love fashion. So I'd be like, I wouldn't wear that. And, or I would wear that. And I just blatantly, and they loved me for it. Or I would like, I just wear something that I bought in a vintage market and they'd be like, oh my God, Phoebe, love that. Can we have that? And then they'd take it, they'd send it off to Hong Kong, make the sample. And then it would become like a top that would be in All Saints, one of the tops that you're wearing. So what I'm saying is this is really pivotal is because I was working with so many designers at All Saints, like one of the head of All Saints at the time now is the creative director of Needle and Thread. My friend Udon Choi now has his own brand, and they were all designers at All Saints. So they all said to me, oh, you should be a stylist. Like you stand here all day, you should be a stylist, you should be a stylist. So I did a silly little course at London College of Fashion. Like it wasn't a big course, but because all my friends were designers, I decided to, so basically if you want to become a stylist, you have to get some images together for a website. So I could borrow great brands for like my first images of stuff that I did because all my friends were designers. So it was like, so my shots look really good because the clothes are really good because my friends were designers. So that was kind of easy. But I will say if you're trying to start out to be a stylist, just like do loads of test shoots. You know, find a photographer you're really comfortable working with, a model, like it could be a friend of yours. Just have to be like, you know, just get creative and just do loads of test shots because that's how my website started out. And then ASOS booked me straight away. And ASOS in London is a great, like all the freelancers there at the time were like assisting really big, like someone at like Dazed and Confused. I styled someone there as well. I'll tell you that in a second. But so that's a really good job to start off as a stylist because it's fast fashion. It's like your bread and butter money, a couple of days a week. You're styling ASOS. You have 2 models. You have about 60 outfits to style. And it's like fast paced. You can get really creative. There's all mood boards. There's all different ASOS girls. So it was a really kind of, but they booked me straight away from like a couple of shots that were on my my website, which is really good. But because I had Udon Choi, like I had all his stuff, which is kind of high end. And I was working with this guy who was just a friend of mine who I used to hang around with in East London. And he used to assist Merton Marcus. Now, for any of you who don't know who Merton Marcus is, they're a photographer, like they do French Vogue. So me and him did some shots together. It was my second test. And we had this model from New York. She's like super edgy, short hair. She looks really like ID, grungy. And it got published in Sean magazine, and that was stuff from my wardrobe actually. So I know, and I was literally like, he put it for, but because he was good, I was good, the model was good. It's like the little trio of, you know,
like all the ingredients came together.
it was like boom, and I was like, what? Then it was in Sean magazine, and Sean magazine is amazing. It's amazing editorial to be in, and that was like all stuff from my own wardrobe. But I think if you've got the connection of, you know, you want to be in fashion, always surround yourself by creative people. You know, fashion for me isn't just clothes. It's like music, it's art, it's watching movies, it's getting references, it's getting out there. It's like being in the hub of creativity. Do you know what I mean? Because you will meet like-minded people and then you'll gel, you know, and I feel like that's the just get out there. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And you touched on a couple of really important aspects of that, is that you had, you know, obviously you were really good at what you did, but you were very good at making relationships. And
That's so important, like so important. I always attract like-minded people in my life and people with the same sort of energy. And, you know, because I'm a passionate person. I'm like, so like if you surround yourself with people like that and you know, you're good at getting on with people, creating good relationships, keeping those relationships, developing ideas. It just that's really important. I think that's how you become, you know, it's just, you just always have to, you know, be out there.
100%. And I feel like I've worked a little bit with you, and what I do like love about you is you always give back. And I think
Yeah,
that's another important aspect about when you're building your relationship, when you're building your network, is always try to provide value and give back in some
definitely.
way.
Definitely. Yeah, like I want to have as much as like, I want to have fun when I'm on a shoot as well, or make people feel comfortable. I mean, people always ask me what's the best thing about being a stylist. And for me, like for my friends, or being at, like if I do more personal stuff or with celebrities, I'm not talking about editorial here. Like I want to make someone feel good. That makes me feel really good. If like a friend of mine or a celebrity I'm working with just looks in the mirror and she's like, oh my God, I feel gorgeous. I feel really good. I get such a buzz out of that because that makes me really happy because they feel gorgeous.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. You know.
Absolutely right. The next question I have, would you be able to describe your signature look? Like, what is your look?
Yeah, like signature, probably like a pair of high-waisted cropped either 501s or a slight flare or a straight leg jean. Um, definitely with like I don't really do skinny anymore, maybe in the winter, but I'd never wear a pair of skinny jeans and heels going out. Like if I was going out and I was wearing like a dress, I'd always put a pair of boots with it. I'd just feel way too dressed up if I had a dress and heels on. So I've
Yeah,
got that. Or sometimes when I wear jeans, I wear a pair of heels, and it's something like I chop it up. I just if I was to go out with a really like hot dress and a pair of heels, I would feel ridiculous, like just so not me. I
do
just
you
like
know
to
what
mess things up.
you're touching on there? And I think that's the cultural difference between London, because I have a lot of friends in London
Actually,
and Ireland. Such different style,
yeah,
like.
like I would be like, oh my God. And especially if I had my hair curled and I had a dress on, I would feel like an imposter. Who is this girl? There is no, this is just like, if I was doing that, I'd have to have messy hair. I'd have to have something that makes it look a bit, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just,
yeah.
sorry, I've got off tangent there.
You're
Signature look,
not at all.
jeans, a really good top, and like maybe a pair of kitten heels and a blazer. Like, but they have to be a high-waisted crop, high-waisted straight leg, or like, which is usually by Levi's. So,
I
or yeah,
literally feel like you're my style and spirit animal. That is like describing my style to me.
yeah. Or another one is my slip dress. I love a slip dress. I have about 50, and
Yeah,
but I'd wear those with a pair of trainers.
yeah.
A cowboy boot is another one of my things. I don't know why I have this cowboy boot obsession. So if I was wearing my jeans, it would be with a pair of cowboy boots and a blazer and a cool top. Um, yeah. And with dresses, with my slip dress, would be a pair of trainers. It would
Yeah,
be a mule, or
yeah.
it would be a my cowboy boot. I've got loads of pairs. Yeah, that's my signature look. Yeah,
I love
I would
it. I
never wear
love
a slip dress with a high pair of heels either. I'd feel like an imposter.
That's so funny. So basically, next question. I'm kind of nervous asking these questions, so
Go on.
forgive me. Who is your ultimate style icon? Or maybe there's a few, and what makes them so well dressed, in your opinion?
Okay, ultimate style icon. I don't know if everyone will know these. They're so Anita Pallenberg, Francois Hardy, Sharon Tate. So these are all kind of 60s, 70s style icons. Anita Pallenberg was had a child with Keith Richards. She used to date Keith Richards. She was very much used to hang around with Marianne Faithfull. So they're kind of 70s rock chicky. Like Kate Moss gets most of her style inspo from people like this. They're the people like Francois Hardy. If you like Alexa Chung is like Francois Hardy now, like what Francois Hardy was. They're my style icons, and even now their clothes are still really relevant. Like I find like the people that I like now dress like that. If you know Sharon Tate, so she have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's Sharon Tate, Margot Robbie. So it's that kind of like that kind of Californian,
Yeah.
like simple. What makes them stand out is they dress differently at the time. Like Anita Pallenberg would wear quite a lot of poochy dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Francois Hardy is very chic. She's a bit like Jane Birkin, like a beautiful Mac, a nice pair of jeans, a fringe, gorgeous hair, simple, classic, elegant, and beautiful. That kind of thing. And Sharon Tate's the same. No, Sharon experimented more. Like she wore that kind of flared jean with the top. She had this like really cool eye makeup she used to do. Lovely prints. I just think their style stands the test of time because they're still people that people emulate now. Do you know what I mean? So like, you know, you see like everyone's like, oh my god, like Sharon Tate, or sorry, Margot Robbie in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, she looked amazing. Do you know what I mean? And it's still things that are carried on to nowadays. So like they're kind of like, you know, they're kind of like, I love how and then probably like some celebrities that I like would they'd probably be their stylists. Like I love how Margot Robbie dresses, but Katie Young is a really big stylist and she styles her. So do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's like the stylist who dresses the celebrity that makes them look so cool.
100%. So the next question I have is, what items of clothing do you think the world would be better off without?
Oh God, I feel terrible saying this because then people probably like wear. So this is just my opinion. And the word, okay, those awful, ugly Isabel Marant trainers. You know those wedge trainers?
Yes, I
don't get it. Never got it. They're ugly. They should be banned. She still does these. I mean, I love Isabel Marant, but she still does these awful boots with that horrible triangle, like that triangle heel. Do you know what I'm on about? Don't get it. I don't get it. It's ugly. Number one. Okay, sorry, wedges, and it's just me, a personal thing. I hate wedges. I'm a 70s girl, and I know it's kind of a 70s thing. Never worn a wedge, would never wear a wedge. They're ugly on my feet. Don't like them. Gone. What else? Okay, yeah. Do you know those like gypsy skirts that are like tiered?
Are they back in fashion? Or you you go back through the ages?
No! I just think they make people look really short because there's tears on them. It's just like, I don't understand. They make everyone look wide. It doesn't look nice. It just looks like, ugh. No. Those. Oh, buffalo boots. But I actually used to wear a pair. Do you remember buffaloes?
Buffalo boots? I don't know what these are.
Okay, I'll send you a picture of it later. Anyway. And okay, another thing I don't like, and it's just a personal thing, I don't like hairbands. I don't understand it. Especially these massive huge ones, and I just to be like, oh my god, I don't, it's a personal thing. And a lot of my friends wear hairbands and I love them dearly and I love their style, but I don't understand it. And I was on Net-a-Porter, I think this morning, and I was looking at Ghani, which is a really favorite brand of mine, and they've started to do these huge hair buns, thick ones, and I'm just like traumatized. I'm like, oh no, oh no. Anyway, so yeah, so those skirts definitely. I just don't understand that wedge trainer. I just don't get it. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't look nice.
She might be watching this. She might take this on board.
Anyway, love the rest of your clothes. Lose the trainer and lose the heel.
You see it. Okay, so what brands do you love dressing your clients in, and why?
I really like dressing when I get like a new celebrity and stuff, or that I really like to dress them in brands that like when I was doing Jen on Dancing with the Stars, like I was trying to get her in brands that aren't so big here yet, but that was kind of difficult because for TV, like it has to be got to do with lighting, got to do it if the producers like it, if she likes it, if it works for the shots. So I was really trying to do that job when I was doing the show, but also like please everyone else and have it like Dancing with the Stars-ish. But I was trying to get her in like Della Valle. We tried a few dresses that didn't work just because the colors didn't work of the styles for the camera. But I was trying to get her in brands that weren't here. Like Della Valle's not stocked anywhere here. I was telling you about them anyway. You should get some of the dresses. Yeah, like I was trying to do stuff like that. So like I put Frankie Bridge in like Della Valle 2 years ago, this beautiful cape thing and some flared trousers. I tried to get celebrities into like brands before they become big, because then they're almost like they're starting off a trend, and that's really good for them and their brand. That's what I like to do.
And it's also supporting like small kind of designers.
Totally. You know? Yeah, totally. So I like to do that, and then like sort of just sort of I like to find an identity with somebody. Like, you know, say if I've got a new client, it's like, right, let's build this identity around it, and let's build and build, and this is your style and this is your vibe, and this is, you know, stick to these things and that make you look really good. And I like to sort of do stuff like that. Like I don't really veer away from my sort of style. Like I'm quite 70s. Like I didn't say that earlier on. I was like jeans, but I'm definitely always, everything is always very 70s. And I always sort of unconsciously kind of go back to that without realizing, but it comes back all the time. So, you know.
You've got amazing style. I love your
Thank
style.
you, babe. Thank you.
Right, this is a juicy one. So, what do you think of influencer culture? Do you think it's a trend getting stronger, or do you see it dying out? And do you see a difference in terms of like influencer culture in London versus Ireland?
Oh my God, completely. I mean, I was just so shocked. I know I kept bringing it up when I came back here, but I just didn't understand it. Like, no one like is bothered really about influencers in London. It's so big. Everyone's sort of cracking on, and it's quite hard. It's quite a hard city to be successful in. So I think everyone's just cracking on with what they're doing. Like, no one really bothers about influencers. I mean, my friend, one of my best friends, used to live with Gala Gonzalez, which is Amwell. So that's the only. You don't know if you're familiar with that, her. She's an influencer. She's a huge influencer. She was one of the first. She's very international. But like, I would never yeah, like it's just not a thing. But I came back here and we're totally saturated by it. I found that really strange, just because I haven't lived here for like 21 years, and it's just not the same in London. Nobody cares really about influencers. It's just not a thing. Well, it wasn't in my industry or the circles that I worked in, and I worked in fashion and for a long time. But there's definitely not a culture of a club of London people who are influencers, who are influencing things. More so, like I'd see on mood boards, and when I was like a fit model at All Saints or Whistles, like more international, like Rumi Neely or like Gala Gonzalez. It was there's no hub of influencers that are sort of in London, but there is back here. In Ireland's small, and I suppose that's, you know, that's the way things are here. Like every country's different. But I'm a stylist. I'm definitely not an influencer, and I've no interest in that sort of thing. But like, you know, it's great. Like people love it here, and that's how, you know, every country's different, isn't it? And like every little hub is different, but it's very different to London. Very different. I do think it's dying out. I really do. Because I was having a few people say about, oh, it's micro influencers now, or like, not that I take any heed to it, are more like better because they're the people who can really sell things, not the people who have. Well, I just couldn't be bothered. Like I just couldn't be bothered to have to like check my phone every 25 seconds and to have to post something every day. Like that would just like, I want to be present in my life. I just couldn't. I just think that's too much effort for me. But then everyone's different, isn't it? It's quite full on, isn't it? It's like a full-time job.
I definitely
I mean, this is my first time on here. Like, I'm just like, I just don't like, you know.
It's funny, yeah. No, I think you touched on a couple of topics there. In a sense, I think as well, the main difference I would say between Ireland and London is there isn't really a fashion industry in Ireland, so it's all
I get it. There it is. You've hit it on the head.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there you go. You've hit it on the head. There's no fashion industry, though the influencers are. Where in London, there'd be no such thing. Influencers, like, it's the people who are the head of design at Needle and Thread, like people I've worked with that are like, these brands are influencing people, you know, not influencers. So that's why I found it really weird when I came back here. But it's probably because there's no sort of fashion industry, as you said. I mean, that's what London is brilliant for. I mean, it's so absorbing in all that. And I do miss a bit of that sometimes. Like, I'd be influenced by a lot of my friends over there, you know, just because they're just really cool. And they're not influencers. They work in the industry, but they go to gigs all the time. You know, it's just like this, go to art exhibitions. It's so big. There's so much that, like, there's loads of markets to potter around all the time and get loads of inspiration from. You know, just I lived in Hackney, so in East London, for like 10 years. And that was like everything cool is just going on there, like from music to art to fashion to, like, so, you know, pottering around on a Sunday, you just bump into everyone, you know, so it's.
So when you talk about your London life, I just feel like that little burn inside me, that kind of miss. But I'm also vicariously living through your. So I just pretend all your memories are mine.
Yeah.
Next question we have, right? So the fashion industry has come under a lot of scrutiny over the last number of years about transparency and ethical fashion production.
Yeah.
So where do you see the industry going in that respect? And do you feel like, you know, I think recently Gucci are cutting their fashion shows.
Seasons, they're making it. Yeah.
Was it two? Was it? And it used to
Yeah,
be.
I think 2 year. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I love that about like this whole sustainability now. And I think COVID is definitely making us so much more aware. I mean, I'm looking into my wardrobe. My wardrobe is like a museum. I'm just like, oh, all my clothes I never wear. I'm going to look at them now. Oh, I can't wait to wear that, instead of buying and buying and buying. And that's really, really, really good. But yeah, I think it's gonna, you know, I think it's gonna affect it a bit, definitely. You know, I feel sorry for my friends who are designers and have their own labels, you know, but hopefully there'll be another way that we can make it work, but you know, in a slower pace, not over consuming, not so, you know, that
Yes.
we think about it more, you
I hope
know.
I would hope that, you know, I think this is our opportunity, you know, like designers, brands, manufacturers, platforms to kind of take stock and be like, okay, we don't need
Absolutely.
to do as much.
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
take some time, and you know, even we're looking into different projects and everything, and the core of what we want to do is we want to make sure whatever we're involved in, that there is traceability and it is ethical production. I think that's
Yeah,
obviously environmental is super important to us as well.
definitely.
We really want to make sure that it's an ethical, like, produced garment, in a sense that that person that was paid to produce that was paid a fair rate and treated
Yes.
well. And
Something I should say here, which is really good. When I was a fit model for All Saints, they did a lot of embellishment, and it was Hannah, who's the creative director, who's now owns and set up and is a CEO of Needle and Thread. So they took me out to India, and so, but all their factories were amazing, and I saw all the ladies bead every, you know, when all their embellishment stuff was like huge. Yeah, like I saw, you know, I was in the factories in India. I saw they were all, everyone was happy. It was all, you know, above board, and you know, so like there were people who were doing that anyway, but obviously there's other brands and stuff that aren't. But I do hope that, well, this is the direction we're going in now. This is it. It's out there, and it's this is the direction we're going.
absolutely, absolutely.
I
So,
am. I was sent a couple of pairs of jeans a couple of pairs of years ago, and they've actually got them in Brown Thomason's. It's really good now. Boyish jeans. You've probably heard of them.
oh, I have, girl.
Yeah,
I,
babe. So like the guy Jordan, who is the like who set up this brand. He used to be the denim designer at Reformation, and he came to London a couple of years ago, and he just sent me like then 3 pairs. But they're the most ethically, like they're just the best jeans, like how he makes them, how he uses less water, because denim and cotton are the worst. Sorry. I can't remember what I was saying.
get on to the next question because we're running out of time here. Okay. So, what was your most memorable styling fashion moment that made you think, wow, I have made it? Or, like, I'm so proud of myself?
Do you know, I worked on, and it was actually my idea, the Caroline Flack River Island capsule collection when she first did it. So it was really nice seeing that production all and selling out and everyone going crazy about it, because that was my idea. Because when I was styling her for Love Island, I could see the amount of attention she was getting from what she was wearing, and I was like, why don't we approach a brand and say we'll do a summer collection? Or so, you know, we put mood boards together, and then to see all that kind of be in store was like, this is great. Like, I love this. I'm probably a frustrated fashion designer.
Yeah. You know, that's actually lovely that you guys had that opportunity to work on that together.
Yeah, it was really lovely. And I still have all her pieces, and I've still got all the pieces, and it's so nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, that's absolutely amazing. Like, it's such a lovely kind of, you know, memory to have as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
You know, obviously it's a personal achievement as well, but because
yeah,
you guys are such good friends, it's like such a nice, yeah, that's really
exactly,
nice.
exactly. It is.
I have one more. I have like 2 or 3 more questions,
Go
and
on.
then because I'm talking the head off. Yeah. Okay. So, best career advice you've been given to date?
Okay. Always stay true to yourself. Don't be a sheep. I'm not a sheep. Like, I don't care if I look different to anyone else. I won't wear what someone else is wearing because it's, You know, your identity and your authenticness is a powerful tool to you being a really good stylist, because you're different. Just don't be a sheep. Don't
Absolutely.
be a sheep. Be
Yeah.
yourself, and your being yourself adds something to creatively to you know, to a shoot, to who you are, to who you project. So I would just say, just always be true to yourself, be authentic.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. I think, you know, many years when I was quite young, I would have worn things that I wasn't comfortable in.
Yeah,
Or even, you know, I meet people and I used to like maybe act a certain way because I wanted them
yeah,
to like,
yeah.
but in general,
And then you're like, this is not me. I'm not being me. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like, always have a very strong identity of who you are. That makes you special. That makes you different. That makes you interesting. Who wants to be like everyone else? Girl, I don't. You know?
100%, 100%. And I think you're not comfortable if you're in an item of clothing, or if you're like, you know, wearing a brand, or if you're acting in a different way to get someone to like you. You're not comfortable. So, and that
Definitely.
vibrates back, and then
Definitely.
it's
And
bad
also,
energy.
ladies, don't dress for men. Always dress. I'm a girl's girl. Dress for women. So what if a guy didn't like it? When I hear girls going, or like, oh, guy, oh, my boyfriend wouldn't like that. So what? Do you like it? You look hot in it. Wear it. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like, I dress for, like, so what if a guy doesn't like it? He needs to learn to like it.
exactly, 100%. We had
Girl
a
power.
we had a really good question, and it was like, actually, literally, you just answered it. It's the how do you find your personal style? You keep like ahead of all my questions. Like, and you like answered in the previous. Okay, so must have classic pieces. Like, if you would recommend
A
for
really good pair of jeans, and that's individual to everyone, like, to suit your shape. Don't follow, okay, again, don't follow trends. Like, I don't follow trends. I'll always wear what I want to wear. I know what suits me. I know what's comfortable. So whatever jeans that suits you, if it's high-waisted, if it's mid-rise, if it's cropped, if it's skinny. So a really good pair of good fitting jeans. I would say, like, a really classic cool coat, you know. Definitely a good bag, a good statement bag. I always think that makes girls feel good. Do you know what I mean? Invest your money if you're going to get a good statement bag. And what else would I say? Like, in winter and stuff, like nice cashmere, I always think is great. In summer, for me, I'm a real denim lover. I'm always like, find the best pair of jeans you have, and you'll always feel amazing.
100%.
Always feel amazing. I'm like a vintage, like, Levi's, like addict. Everywhere I go, I'm like searching for like another pair of Levi's, another pair. I have loads, but that's my thing, and I feel good in them, so it makes me feel good. So I just think a good pair of jeans is like really, really important. Whatever that is for you, however that looks for you, you know, everyone's different and everyone's body shape is different. And what I'm saying is, don't follow trends, is wear that jean that you know that suits your body shape, because everyone's leg form is different, and everyone
100%.
looks different in jeans. So you know your body. Everyone knows how they look and how they feel in something. So I would say a great pair of jeans.
Next question, last but not least, do you know any short courses you'd recommend for someone who wanted to get into fashion or wanted to get into styling? Because
I meant to say this earlier. Sorry, I assisted for free, and I think that's really. I did a course at London College of Fashion. It was a really short course. It was 3 months or something, and it was only at the weekend. But I assisted for free, so I did my time. I assisted this. She was Naomi Campbell's stylist. Now, she was a bitch, and it was like the devil's wears Prada. But I learned so much from her, and I did it for free. But I would say just assist. And when you're assisting someone, absorb. I think that sort of experience is just invaluable. Do you know?
yeah,
I really do. I'd say if you want to be a stylist, just like reach out to a stylist or a fashion editor or someone that you admire and say, hey, are you looking for assistance? Can I assist you? You know, be prepared to do it for free. And that's how you get into it. That's how you then start making connections. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like it's all about that, and you know, you have to do it for free.
Do you know what's so interesting? And you're so right in what you're saying. And I would have been someone, you know, in my early 20s who wouldn't have actually had the courage to ask. I would have been like, oh no, they'll say
Yeah,
no. But I think like you.
But like I'm always looking for assistance. Like I have two now, but like I've always like I get loads of messages from girls, and I always get back to them, and they always say, "Hi Fiona, you looking?" And I'm like, "I'm not at the moment, but like thank you for getting in touch, and if I am again, or you know what I mean." So, you know, we all need assistance, and that's the best way.
And
You know,
that's
and
it.
once you show enthusiastic, you know, you don't have to have all these like degree in fashion. And it's just like, if you're passionate, if you've got a good sense, you're good identity, a good sense of style, and you want to work hard, there you go.
100%. And like exactly, like I mean, there's funny enough, I actually did a 3-month course in the Grafton Academy a couple of
Okay, so
months ago.
that's one here. I've heard about that. Yeah.
So it was quite good, but I just don't think that's where my skills lie. And my
Yeah.
mother to this day that she's like, "Yeah, how much you pay for that course?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a couple hundred." And she's like, you only managed to make one skirt. I mean, wouldn't you better off and buying a skirt and Dolce and Gabbana? Like, you know, you're
Yeah,
right.
for that whole time, you're like, damn, I would have had that in like a key piece of my wardrobe for ages.
Yeah, it wasn't, let's say, it's not my calling. You know, I'd love
Yeah.
to be a fashion designer. I'm
Okay,
obsessed.
so I tell you about that course that I did, and you were saying it wasn't like I did that course at London College of Fashion, but like the photo shoot I did at the end, I didn't think the model that they had was really that good, and I didn't like my shots,
Yeah.
and the stuff I did on my own, off my own back, was much better. So it kind of was a waste of money. I went off and I started testing, which is what I was saying at the start of this, with photographers that I knew, and that stuff was much better. So you don't always have to go and do a course. Go out and test, find a photographer friend of yours, just be creative, you know. Even like if you want to do a test, like buy clothes from shops here and return them, like shoot them, return them, you know what I mean, and you know, get a load of great shots together, you know, with some nice pieces.
Yeah, I totally
I didn't
agree.
say that.
She did say that. No, totally agree with you. And it comes down to like, you know, there's a big movement in the US from people not actually going to college and getting themselves into huge debt for
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
may never even use. So like I know a lot of people would assume that you need to have a degree or you need to have a certain course, but I think you made some really important points there that, you know, sometimes you just need to have like, you know, good attitude, be
yeah,
there, willing to do it
yeah,
for free, like
yeah.
graft and just get.
Absolutely. And like, and that's what I would like. I wouldn't take on, like, I wouldn't be bothered if someone didn't have a fashion degree. If I knew they were interested, they were willing, they had a good attitude, and they wanted to learn, I'm like, yeah.
100%. Well, I don't know, Fiona. I think we are going to wrap it up there.
Oh,
And
it's so nice to chat to you, babe.
thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
You
I
look great.
learned so much from you, and I'm sure all our viewers are like delighted with everything that's come out. So listen, I'm going to let you go, and I will chat to you soon.